Set to go with the Kansas City Chiefs and the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jack Del Rio on the Jacksonville sideline. He played here in Kansas City back in '87 and '88. Todd Haley in his second season leading the Chiefs. He's seen Kansas City improve in 38 different categories through the first 5 games of the season. Trying to come back this week after close losses in the last 2 games against Indy and Houston. Jacksonville won the toss and they'll receive. They'll have the football to start the game. Deji Kareem is back deep. And we are underway at the new Arrowhead Stadium. Taken at the 6 by Taekwon Underwood. And Underwood brings it out to about the 28-yard line. 38-year-old Todd Bauman. And his head has to be spinning in what was a whirlwind week, and now he'll just try to slow everything down, making just his 7th NFL start.
And Bill, I imagine he's a little anxious right now, maybe even a little nervous. And I think it's going to be really important for his teammates to rally around him and help him get off to a good start. This isn't a place where you want to get behind early.
And here we go. 5 days ago, he was on a tractor at home in Minnesota. Now he's starting in the National Football League. 1st and 10. Maurice Jones-Drew, right side. Gets it to the 30. Brandon Flowers made the stop. Jacksonville offensive line. Monroe and Britton have started since being taken 1 and 2 a year ago. And they will, of course, rely on number 32, Maurice Jones-Drew, to get this offense going today. Mercedes Lewis leads the Jags with 5 touchdowns this season. Maurice Jones-Drew, 5th in the AFC in rushing, coming in with 463 yards, but just 1 rushing touchdown. 2nd and 8. Bauman will throw. Tipped and incomplete, in and out of the hands of Mike Sims-Walker. Kansas City defense had played well until the 4th quarter last week against Houston. Up front, Glenn Dorsey, the former number 1 out of LSU. And at linebacker, Derek Johnson, always around the football. The Chiefs' leading tackler. Vrabel caught another touchdown pass on offense last week. The secondary is young, but full of playmakers, including Eric Berry, the rookie first-round pick out of Tennessee. So 3rd and 8, opening possession for Jacksonville. Bauman from the shotgun. With time. Guns it, has an open man, Underwood, and that's a 1st down, a nice throw. And that quiets the crowd.
And Bill, this guy is a gamer, Todd Bauman. I know he hasn't played a lot of plays and hasn't played a lot of games over his career, just 6 starts. But he is a guy, when you sit down and visit with him, that exudes confidence. It's not going to be too big for him. I think these players are going to rally around him. I think it's really important that he make a couple of throws early to get that confidence.
Well, that was good for 20 yards and into Kansas City territory. Maurice Jones-Drew up the middle, moving the pile as he does so often, and inside the 45 down to the 44-yard line.
Yeah, I think there's 2 different philosophies here with a quarterback like Todd Bauman. You can be very conservative early, run the ball at Maurice Jones-Drew, or you can take the gloves off and let this kid play. And I think it's really important. This guy's 38 years old. Bill, I know we talked the fact he was on a farm on Tuesday, but he's here at Arrowhead today, and he's going to have to make some throws. He's going to have to take advantage of this one-on-one coverage he's going to see here a lot against this Chiefs secondary.
2nd and 5 for Jacksonville. Maurice Jones-Drew again to the 42-yard line. Sean Smith, the defensive end, made the tackle.
And as you study this Kansas City defense on film, this is the one area where they've made major improvements. Their ability to stop the run. It was a major problem a year ago. You see Romeo Cornell right there. He's done an outstanding job as the first-year coordinator. They're currently 5th in run defense.
3rd and a long 3 for Jacksonville. Just underway here in Kansas City. From the shotgun, showing blitz. And we have movement, false start. Evan Britton, the right tackle.
False stop, offense, number 73, 5-yard penalty. skip a third down.
Jerome Boger, our referee today.
Well, they have a couple different things working against them today, this offensive line. You're going to see Britton right at the bottom of your screen right here. He's just going to take a little step. Two things, very difficult here in Arrowhead. The noise is a major issue. The other thing is you have a quarterback that you haven't worked with the entire year. He's got a different sequence, a different cadence, and a different timing than David Garrard or Trent Edwards.
And he brings Maurice Jones-Drew back in to help block and then be a safety valve, and that's what he is on the screen. And he'll be about a yard short of the first down. John McGraw, the safety, made the tackle.
Well, Jack Del Rio is a head coach that likes to go for it on fourth down. He's already done it 12 times this season. They've been successful on 5 of them, but he is going to be aggressive today with Todd Bauman.
So 4th and 1. Power I, quarterback sneak, and he's got it.
Nice job by Todd Bauman. They catch him with a quick count. Before they can even get set, you can see Todd, he just gets the exchange from center, and I think they have that first down. Bill, in talking with Todd Bauman last night, he has about 80% of a normal game plan, which is plenty against the Chiefs. He said he was staying up in his hotel room late at night trying to study that game plan, the protections, the formations. It was like cramming for a final exam.
Let's check the measurement. And by about the length of the football, a little more. First down. Well, Todd Bauman had been with Jacksonville off and on the last couple of years. This year he was signed as their backup when Luke McCown went down with an ACL after week 2, but then released when Jacksonville signed Trent Edwards at the end of last month. Jacksonville, though, left the door open. They said, if anything happens, you're going to be our first call. And that call came Tuesday when he was back home in Pipestone, Minnesota, 3 hours southwest of Minneapolis, helping out on his dad's farm. 1st and 10. This is an impressive drive from Jacksonville to start, and he's going deep. Intended for Mike Thomas. Well, the last time Todd Bauman started a game was in week 17 of the 05 season when he was a member of the New Orleans Saints. He threw for 265 yards with a touchdown and 2 interceptions. He also lost a fumble that was returned for a touchdown as the Saints lost to the Buccaneers 27-13.
Well, I remember him as a young quarterback coming out of St. Cloud State. They really liked him in Minnesota. Mike McCarthy worked with him in New Orleans. He has some experience.
2 yards from Maurice Jones-Drew. Sean Smith again made the tackle.
By Glenn Dorsey and Sean Smith.
Well, you look at Maurice Jones-Drew there. He is the centerpiece of this offense. I mean, a terrific runner who doesn't go down easily. And he's also been very good in the passing game. He's a guy that you have to keep an eye on. They love to run that screen with Maurice Jones-Drew.
Coming off a Pro Bowl season last year. 10th play of this opening drive upcoming. From the Kansas City 37-yard line. Down on 3rd and 9.
Here's where Todd's got to be really smart in these 3rd and long situations. Big pressure down for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Here they come on the blitz. And he's sacked. 12th sack of the season for the Chiefs. Tamba Hali.
Well, you see him right at the bottom of your screen. Tamba Hali, he is their best pass rusher. As you mentioned, Bill, 4.5 sacks coming in. They like to move him around. You'll see him on the right side of the line, the left side of the line. Britton's just one-on-one with him. You see that quick hand slap. He's made that transition from defensive end to outside linebacker in this 3-4 rather seamlessly.
So the Jaguars will have to punt. Podler standing back on his own 45-yard line. End over end. Javier Arenas makes the fair catch. The rookie at the 12-yard line. And when we come back, the Chiefs will go to work after a 30-yard punt. We are underway here in Kansas City. 9:36 left to play in the first. Opening possession for the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs have improved this season on both sides of the football. They rank in the top 10 in 12 different statistical categories on defense coming in, while on offense they're up to 18th overall and 1st in rushing. And they will start from their own 12-yard line. Thomas Jones is in the backfield, coming off his first 100-yard game last week as a Kansas City Chief. Short drop for Castle, out into the flat for Pope, and incomplete. Matt Castle, quarterback for the Kansas City Chiefs, and Rich's numbers have been solid.
Yeah, the fact that they're running the ball so well, I think, has helped Matt Castle. But I have seen improvement in his mechanics. I think he's much more consistent with his drops and his footwork, and he's been better with his decision-making. You see Charlie Weiss there on the right, the offensive coordinator. He's not turning the ball over. I think he's beginning to figure things out as the Chiefs quarterback.
The exciting rookie, Dexter McCluster, has checked in. They give it to McCluster, trying to get to the edge, turns the corner, finds the seam, and he is explosive. Courtney Green made the stop. Chiefs offensive line has been one of the best in the NFL this season, opening holes for the league's top running game and allowing only 4 quarterback sacks. Jamal Charles and Thomas Jones have been outstanding, splitting carries at running back. Dwayne Bowe coming off his first 100-yard receiving game of the season. First down for Kansas City. That was good for 11 yards.
Bill, you can just feel the speed of Dexter McCluster. They're a much faster football team now. They've added a number of weapons in this past draft that has really helped this football team.
McCluster stays in the game and gets it again. Nice move back inside, and another hole on another first down for Kansas City. "15 yards, and Darryl Smith finally brought him down.
And Bill, we talk about speed kills, and that's what Dexter McCluster has. They really like this guy. They're trying to get him more involved in the offense each and every week. You'll see him as a receiver. They'll put him in the backfield. Just watch him freeze these linemen. You see Aaron Campman there. He's got no chance. And then, of course, he gets out in front. He's got great speed to get up on the second level.
Todd Haley just couldn't say enough good things about Dexter McCluster. Thinks he's going to have a tremendous career. Chiefs take a timeout. 8:07 left in the first. No score in Kansas City. Chiefs burned a timeout. 1st and 10 from their own 38-yard line. Thomas Jones is back in the game. Cox, the fullback, was the motion man. Castle will throw on first down, and he's sacked. Aaron Campman.
Aaron Campman on the sack.
Well, the Jags have had some issues defensively, ranked 27th overall. Campman, who just got the sack, his 4th of the season. Alou is the rookie out of Cal. At linebacker, Morrison is the former Raider. 5 straight seasons of 100 or more tackles. Jacksonville has really struggled with pass defense, especially at safety. Today they're going with 2 of the young guys in Green and Carey. So 2nd and 13 after the sack. Jones remains in the game. They give it to him, picking his way through and out to the 39-yard line. And let's take a look now at Gannon's MVPs, most valuable points.
Well, for Jacksonville to be a top defense, they need to be better at each level. More production out of their front, more impact plays from the linebackers, and much more consistency from the secondary. And for Kansas City, you have to continue to find ways to feature Dexter McCluster. I mean, he can do so much for your football team because he is so versatile and he has great quickness and playmaking ability. He is an incredible talent.
McCluster is back in the game, and he is in the slot, bottom portion of your screen, on 3rd and 8. Castle with time, checks it down, and Terrence Copper couldn't bring it in. Incomplete. The Chiefs will have to punt.
And here's where Matt Castle has to be better as a quarterback. When his first receiver's not there, the primary, when he comes off of that with his eyes, he's got to do a better job with his location. His accuracy has been a problem in this system. Watch, he's looking downfield. Now once he comes back inside, he's got to be more accurate. You have to put it in a position where they can get into the transition of the run.
And Thomas awaits the punt from Dustin Colquitt. 15-yard line. With some running room up the sideline, in space, he's loose, Thomas, and he fumbles the football. Scramble for it, and it looked like initially the Jaguars got it back. But no. Kansas City football. And what looked like a big play for the Jacksonville Jaguars turns into a big play for the Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs have the football. They'll take over when we come back. No score at the new Arrowhead. We're back, and let's take another look at the fumble.
What just a great effort by the rookie, Javier Arenas. You're going to see him. He's going to reach in here. Now watch right here. The ball's on the ground. You can't do this. You can't try and reach down and pick it up. You have to be able to fall on the football. Tyron Brackenridge, he would have done a much better job just going down and cleaning up that fumble.
So it was a 46-yard punt, a 49-yard return, and then the fumble. Thomas Jones! Jones! He's loose! Thomas Jones, a race to the goal line! And he's out of bounds at the 4. Courtney Green saved the touchdown.
Well, the Chiefs are so much better up front, but you just have to be out of a gap right there, wrong angles, and now all of a sudden Thomas Jones is off into the secondary. This Jacksonville defense, Bill, has been gashed by giving up big plays. It's been a big problem throughout the season. How about Thomas Jones, though? You think of him as a power runner between the tackles, but he still has some speed on the edge.
A 70-yard run. First and goal for Kansas City. Jamal Charles is the deep back. And they give it to Charles. Cutting back inside. Touchdown!
Well, there's a great example of what the Chiefs have. They have two different backs in Thomas Jones and Jamal Charles. They both have different styles, but they both have the luxury of running behind a very good offensive line. I think they're much stronger up inside. Casey Wigman has made a huge difference.
Ryan Suckup wanted to try the extra point. And the Chiefs draw first blood after a 70-yard run by Thomas Jones and a 4-yard touchdown run by Jamal Charles. 7-0 Kansas City. Great action early here in Kansas City, and the Chiefs coming in, the #1 rushing team in the National Football League. They've already had 3 different backs contribute. McCluster, the rookie, with runs of 11 and 15 yards. Jones had the 70-yard run to set up the 4-yard touchdown run by Jamal Charles. Underwood from the 4-yard line. And a nice return out to about the 35. And that is where Todd Bauman of the Jacksonville Jaguars will go to work, trailing 7-0 when we return to Kansas City. Todd Bauman ready for his second series. Just signed on Tuesday. From the 32-yard line, Maurice Jones-Drew stopped for a loss of a couple. Tamba Hali, great penetration. Well, Todd Bauman's family drove 4.5 hours down to see him today from their home in Minnesota. His wife Courtney and his son and daughter Aiden and Avery, and there they are. Somehow they were able to come up with number 4 Todd Bauman jerseys. I'm not sure how they did that.
They were pretty fired up. They stopped into our production meeting last night. Courtney said she's not nervous. She's excited to see her husband play.
Maurice Jones-Drew reverses field, now has some space, a first down and more into Kansas City territory. Kendrick Lewis, the rookie free safety, made the stop.
And you always have to be aware of Maurice Jones-Drew. He'll start downhill, and then he has the ability to wind it back. He has tremendous vision. He's a difficult back to kind of corral, Bill, because he's so small. He's got a low center of gravity. He gets lost behind that big offensive line.
That was good for 21 yards to the Kansas City 47-yard line. B.G. Kareem has checked in the backfield. It's the rookie out of Southern Illinois, the 6th-round draft pick. They really like him. That is caught. Mercedes Lewis, the tight end, another Jacksonville first down. And Bauman has looked sharp.
Yeah, the ball's coming out. He looks like he's got a good sense and good feel for what they're trying to do. And I think that's the important thing against this Chiefs defense. Don't hold the ball. Be willing to take those underneath routes. And Mercedes Lewis is a tight end that's really starting to become a difference maker for this offense, particularly in the red zone. Already 5 touchdowns this season after recording just 7 in his first 4 seasons as a Jag.
That was good for 15 yards. Kareem's still in the game. The deep back, and he gets the toss to the edge. And another nice pickup on first down. Remember, the Jags fashioned a 10-play drive into Kansas City territory in their first possession. That was ended by a sack, so they had to punt, but they've moved the football well so far today.
Yeah, I was really intrigued in talking with Jack Del Rio last night about the quarterback situation and Todd Bauman, and he was kind of anxious to see him play. He wasn't at all concerned. He thought he'd go out. He's been with them in the past. He's spent a number of training camps with the Jacksonville Jaguars. They feel pretty good about his chances here today.
2nd and 6. Kareem tried to make a move, and it wasn't there. Vrabel made the stop. That'll bring up 3rd down.
You know, I remember sitting down with Mike Vrabel in his first game last year. We got a chance to do it in Baltimore, and I said, what do you have to do in Kansas City to turn things around? He said, the Arrowhead advantage. I heard about it when I was in New England. We need to be a dominant team at home, give our fans something to get excited about. They've won both games at home here this season.
Well, they're on their feet here in Kansas City. 3rd and 5 for Jacksonville. The Chiefs lead it 7-0. Just under 3 minutes to go in the first. Bauman. Incomplete, and we have a flag. It was intended for Mike Thomas. Brandon Flowers had the coverage. We could have pass interference.
Illegal hands to the face. Defense, number 24. 5-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
And they call it on Flowers.
Todd Haley wants 2 physical corners, and he has them in Brandon Carr and Brandon Flowers. Brandon Flowers trying to be physical on the line of scrimmage with Mike Thomas, trying to jam him off his release.
So a fresh set of downs for the Jaguars. Maurice Jones-Drew is back in the game. Pump fake from Bauman. Lewis had him on the slant and couldn't pull it in. Kendrick Lewis had the coverage.
And this is unfortunate because they got the look they wanted. Todd Bauman's going to move the safety. He comes back plenty early, but this is what happens, Bill, when you don't have the reps in the system, when you haven't had a lot of work with a guy like Mercedes Lewis, particularly in this part of the field. Things happen quicker. That's going to be a struggle for Todd Bauman throughout this day.
Well, that says it all. 1,700 days it's been for Todd Bauman until today. Pressed into action. Maurice Jones-Drew swarmed under. The ball was loose, but they had already blown the whistle. Derek Johnson, who leads the Chiefs in tackles, led the charge there.
Well, I really like when you study the film what I've seen out of Derek Johnson today. First of all, they don't block him. That's the first issue you have, but he's really reinvented himself in this defense. As I said, he leads a team with 53 tackles. He struggled to find a role with this team after being a first-round pick in 2005. One of his problems was his inability to stay healthy, but he is really playing well for Romeo Crennel.
3rd and 15. Underwood. And that's going to be short of a first down. They get it down to the 17-yard line.
Well, completions are a good thing for Todd Bauman, particularly in that situation, Bill. 3rd and 15, you're thinking about getting some positive yardage, help your field goal kicker. Last thing you want to do in that situation is take a sack.
So Josh Scobie is on to try a 35-yard field goal.
Boy, he has been clutch this year.
He has not missed a field goal try this season. 11 of 11 coming in. 9 of 9 from 40-plus yards. And he's got that one with plenty of leg. So the Jacksonville Jaguars are on the board. 35-yard field goal by Josh Scobie, who's 12 of 12 now this season. America's #1 network. So 7-3 after the Scobie field goal, 1:13 left to go in the first. Javier Arenas is the deep man, standing back at the Kansas City goal line, awaiting the kick from Scobie. Deep kick, 3 yards deep in the end zone. Arenas is going to bring it out. Gets it across the 20 to about the 23-yard line. And let's take a look now at Gannon's film study.
Well, Kansas City Chiefs are fortunate to have two very good backs who both bring a little something different to the mix. Jamal Charles has that exceptional speed and great vision. He wants to get outside on the perimeter where he can use his speed. On the other hand, Thomas Jones prefers to work inside between the tackles. He's a very patient runner who knows how to finish. Two very different backs, but both have combined to make this the #1 rushing offense in football.
Jamal Charles has checked in. And they get it to that talented tight end, and he's got a big gain on first down to the 38-yard line. Tony Moeaki, the rookie out of Iowa, the 3rd-round draft pick.
Bill, I really like Tony Moeaki. He has caught everything thrown his way so far this season. He's made a number of spectacular catches.
Personal foul, chop block, offense, number 54. Half the distance to the goal.
Ryan Waters, the 4-time Pro Bowler, so they'll bring it back. Moeaki came in as the Chiefs' leading receiver with 18 catches for 194 yards and 2 touchdowns, and he's really given Matt Castle a terrific weapon.
Yeah, he's got great hands, and as Todd Haley says, he's their best receiver right now outside the numbers. He's got a real good feel for the game. Very good route runner. He's a big target for Matt Castle.
So 1st and 22, empty backfield. Castle from the shotgun. 5 receivers set. Leave 1 into block, and that was almost picked off. Grant Tucker was the intended receiver, and Rashean Mathis, who's the Jaguars' all-time leader in interceptions, had a great break on the ball.
Yeah, you're going to see Rashean Mathis on the left side of your screen, but Grant Tucker is going to be running up the slot. Grant Tucker was on the practice squad last week. They have no problems here in Kansas City bringing players up, not only bringing them up, but have them play a major role in the game plan.
Thomas Jones is in the ball game now on 2nd and 22. They give it to Jones. And across the 15 to the 16-yard line. Chiefs came in today leading the AFC West at 3-2, but Jacksonville has dominated the series with Kansas City. The Jaguars have won 6 of the 8 meetings overall and 4 of the last 5. Nearing the end of the first quarter, and they're going to let the clock run out. So that'll be the end of quarter #1 with the Chiefs leading it 7-3. We'll return to Kansas City after these messages. You're watching the NFL in Week 7 on CBS. Ready to start the second quarter. Kansas City with 110 rushing yards in the opening period. 70 on that run by Thomas Jones. Facing a 3rd and long here as we start the second. From their own 17-yard line. They give it to the rookie, McCluster. And that time couldn't quite get around the corner. So Kansas City will have to punt.
Dustin Colquitt in punt formation.
Kansas City trying to run their record to 4-2, which would equal their best start in the last 12 years. Jacksonville came in 3-3. Game back in the AFC South. Mike Thomas standing back at his own 33-yard line. Colquitt with a good high punt. Thomas waves everybody off. And it goes out of bounds at the 29. Well, Tuesday, she had a beautiful mind, but it's her body language that will solve the case. Don't miss TV's #1 drama, NCIS, Tuesday, only on CBS, America's most watched network. So the Jags will go to work after the 50-yard punt, trailing 7-3 with 14:11 left to go in the half. Jaguars have won 2 of their last 3, but they're trying to come back after their worst home loss in franchise history Monday night against Tennessee, 30-3. And incomplete. Mercedes Lewis, the intended receiver.
You get a good look at Mercedes Lewis. He looks much thinner to me. He's leaner. He looks quicker in and out of cuts. This one is a little bit of a force right here. You're going to see Bauman. I mean, got in and out coverage there with the linebackers. When you throw the tight ends, you got to put it on them. You can't lead them into that head-on collision.
2nd and 10. Jones drew the deep back. And they give it to him. A nice little cutback move, churning the legs. And now close to the 40-yard line. And let's check in now with JB in New York with a Week 7 NFL update.
Bill and Rich, after throwing a pick that led to a touchdown, McNabb answers right back on the next series, making amends as he hooks up with one of his favorite receivers, Santana Moss. 24-yard strike, 9 plays, 72 yards, all tied at 7. Homecoming in Chicago, Bill and Rich.
All right, JB, thank you very much. Here in Kansas City, it's 7-3 Chiefs. Maurice Jones-Drew, after picking up the first down, lowering his shoulder. Such a powerful runner with that low center of gravity, and sometimes, Rich, he can get lost behind those big offensive linemen.
Yeah, you're right, Bill. I think he runs with an attitude. I mean, he always seems like he has a chip on his shoulder. And he's a guy that's always keeps those legs churning. And I get the sense when you look at a guy like Maurice Jones-Drew, he's almost like one of those old school fullbacks. The more carries he gets, the better off he seems, the more comfortable he seems. I think he gets better as the game goes along.
Deji Kareem has checked in now on 2nd and 6 for Jacksonville. And a whistle and a flag before the snap. It's going to be against Jacksonville.
False start. Offense, number 75. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
Eugene Monroe, the left tackle in his 2nd year out of Virginia, the 1st-round pick last year.
It's interesting. We had a false start by Britton, the right tackle, now one by the left tackle. And again, I mentioned the crowd noise. I also mentioned a new quarterback with a different cadence. You're going to have to really be patient if you're one of these offensive linemen and really lock in to the quarterback's cadence.
Kareem stays in the game. And that is caught over the middle by Lewis. Close to a 1st down, close to midfield.
You see Todd Bauman, a little bit different than you think about him last week, Bill, on the farm and working with the high school kids, helping his brother coach, and now all of a sudden he gets knocked down by Tamba Ali. Jack Del Rio was telling us last night, I asked how his arm was. He said he looked good. He said he's been throwing to those high school kids up there in Minnesota. And a lot different out here with the speed.
That was Zach Potter who made the catch. 1st down for Jacksonville. Bauman straight back. Lost it. That's Lewis. And another big gain, and Lewis is still on his feet. Finally brought down at the 24-yard line by Kendrick Lewis.
Well, both of these tackles right now are having a hard time with Tamba Ali. You're going to see Todd Bauman does a nice job stepping up and giving Mercedes Lewis a good throw. Those deep crosses, he runs those routes real well. He's got a great sense and feel for the type of coverage, and he's a big target for Todd Bauman.
That was good for 26 yards, and again, this Jacksonville offense moving the football. Jones-Drew down close to the 20-yard line. Sean Smith made the tackle.
Well, this is a hard team to figure out when you look at Jacksonville, Bill, and I went back and watched the tape. of the Monday night game last week, the 30-3 loss, their worst home defeat in franchise history. And Jack really felt like, for the most part, his defense played really well. The offense had some chances. The turnovers really killed them in this part of the field. They had 4 turnovers, and as Dirk Cutter told us last night, the offensive coordinator, we got down inside the 15 3 times and came away with no points.
This is their 3rd straight drive into Kansas City territory. Nothing there. J.G. Kareem, who injured his thumb in the preseason, was inactive for the first 4 games, made his NFL debut against Buffalo, and since then has 215 all-purpose yards coming in this week. Javon Belcher made the tackle.
You see Romeo Cornell right there. Bill, I was really impressed. You and I talked about this at practice on Friday. I thought the tempo was outstanding. The Chiefs actually practiced in the stadium on Friday to get used to the game-like conditions. They had the crowd noise pumped in. The tempo was outstanding.
3 wide receivers to the left, showing blitz, and here they come. Bauman. Touchdown, Maurice Jones-Drew. And how about that?
This is really a great design by the Jacksonville Jaguars. What they want to do is they want to get Maurice Jones-Drew matched up on Mike Vrabel. And you're going to see Vrabel's right here at the end of the line of scrimmage, and Maurice Jones-Drew is just going to go right by him. Nice job by Todd Bauman realizing the matchup. The running back on the linebacker, he puts some air on it and gives Maurice Jones-Drew a perfect throw.
18 yards from Bauman to Maurice Jones-Drew. Scobie on to try the extra point, and the Jacksonville Jaguars take the lead. 10-7 with 9:38 left to go in the half, and the family, Courtney and the kids, Aiden and Avery, they love it in that sea of red. 8 plays on the scoring drive, 71 yards. And if you're a Jaguars fan, maybe you're saying, where the heck has Todd Bauman been all this time? He's looked great in running this Jacksonville offense. Arenas feels it at the 11. Spun down at the 27-yard line. Well, we had Bauman and Rich, what do you think so far? He's been pretty good.
Well, we had questions. He looks very comfortable right now. That team really rallying around Todd Bauman.
Well, Founders Plaza here at the new Arrowhead Stadium, and Lamar Hunt, a welcoming symbol of this great franchise. And Rich had a chance to get to know Mr. Hunt over the years, and he was a great man, a real gentleman, and obviously the inspiration behind this team and these great fans here in Kansas City.
Yeah, Bill, and I had the chance to play for Mr. Hunt here in Kansas City for 4 years, and you mentioned a pioneer and just an outstanding gentleman. Always would come in the locker room, whether we won or lost, and make sure he shook all the players' hands. I do miss Lamar Hunt.
Jamal Charles has checked in. Chiefs go to work, trailing by 3. They pitch it back to Charles, and he's brought down at the 30, and we have a flag.
Kansas City offense, you take away that Thomas Jones run early in the first quarter, and they've been sloppy.
Holding, offense, number 76. 10-yard penalty, replay, first down.
Brandon Albert, the left tackle.
A little bit of an offensive imbalance right now. If you're the Chiefs, they've rushed for 114 yards. They're -3 in passing. Matt Castle has yet to have a completion, and a little bit of an imbalance on the year as well. I mean, I mentioned they're the #1 rushing team in football, and yet they're just 27th in passing. That's an area that Todd Haley is trying to get improvement from.
So 1st and 20. Thomas Jones with some running room. Brought down close to the 24-yard line. Courtney Green made the stop, and once again, let's check in with JB in New York for an update.
Bill and Rich, take a look off of a Miami fumble. How many times have we seen Hines Ward show good second and third effort on this Roethlisberger pass? Good first effort there, second one here, third one coming up. 21 yards for the score. Pittsburgh on top of Miami, 10-6. That in the second. Bill and Rich.
JB, thanks. The Steelers have yet to lose on the road this season. Miami is looking for their first win at home. Keep you updated on that score. Castle Swings it. Moriarty with the catch and the first down for Kansas City.
And these are the kind of matchups that the Chiefs want. Tony Moriarty on Tyrone Brackenridge of the Jags. That's going to be a problem for them all day. Moriarty, he runs routes like a receiver. He is very good in space. As I mentioned, he's got great hands. Matt Castle does a nice job stepping up in the pocket and giving Moriarty a ball he can catch.
Todd Haley told us he has a real natural feel for the game and finding open space. 1st and 10 for Kansas City from their own 43-yard line. Charles, whole right side, and he is into Jacksonville territory. Kurt Morrison, the middle linebacker, made the stop.
When you think about the biggest reason for the turnaround in Kansas City, they're taking care of the football, just the 4 turnovers, the fewest in football right now, but the rushing differential. They're averaging 165 yards a game on the ground. Their defense is only giving up 90 yards a game. That's a big difference. It's the best in football. This is their formula for success, running the ball and stopping the run on defense.
2nd and 3, Charles stays in the game, and they give it to him. Trying to get outside. He'll pick up 1 and still be short of the first down. Well, coming up on the Sprint Halftime Report, join JB, Dan, Shannon, Boomer, and Coach Cower for all the latest NFL scores and highlights from Week 7. That's all coming up on the Sprint Halftime Report here on CBS.
You look at that last graphic, Bill, you see the Jets on there, you see Pittsburgh on there. They've won a lot of football games over the years. If you can run the football, take care of it, not turn it over, make good decisions at the quarterback position, and stop the run on defense, you can win a lot of ball games.
3rd and 2. Thomas Jones is in the game. They give it to him. He's going to have the first down and a little more. Out of bounds at the 41-yard line. Rasheed Mathis drove him out of bounds.
Yeah, I think one of the reasons why they're a much better rushing football team is they got Casey Wigman back inside. Of course, they went out and got Ryan Lilja. And I think they're much more athletic. You're going to see Lilja right here. He's going to get out on the edge, and they're just going to run the ball, the bounce play. And Lilja's an athletic guard that can get out in front, and Thomas Jones, a patient runner. You don't think of him as a perimeter runner, but he still has very good speed.
Jamal Charles is back in. Lilja, by the way, 6 seasons with the Colts before rejoining the Chiefs. And that will be a loss of a couple. Terrence Knighton with great penetration, and he was in the backfield.
Well, I love this football team. I love watching them run, and they do it with a number of different backs. You see Dexter McCluster, he gets a touch. Then it's Thomas Jones. He breaks off the big 70-yard run, and of course, Jamal Charles comes in to finish it off. And Bill, you always have a back in the game who's fresh. They have a number of different backs that they keep mixing through there. It makes it very difficult for a defense.
2nd and 13 for Kansas City. Castle, deep drop to the sideline, and that is caught. Dwayne Bowe with his first reception, a first down for the Chiefs.
And that's one of the benefits when you run the ball so well. Off of that, you can get some big shots down the field, whether they be with straight drop or the play action game. Dwayne Bowe has worked very hard this offseason on his consistency. He had a problem the first couple years with drops. He's trying to work on that specific area of his game.
Coming off his first 100-yard game of the season, 108 last week against Houston. Jones down to the 20-yard line.
You're going to see a lot of 8-man front out of Jacksonville today. It's really no secret who the Chiefs are, the #1 rushing team in football. And talking with Jack Del Rio last night, he said, we have to commit to stopping the run. And if it means bringing extra defenders up around the line of scrimmage, we're willing to do that.
And the Chiefs now bring in their speed package. They've got Jamal Charles in the game, along with Dexter McCluster. Second and 9. They come on the blitz to McCluster. Oh, what great second effort from the rookie.
And it's really not that hard. I mean, this is a simple pass, a little shoot route to Dexter McCluster. It's not even a great throw, but look at McCluster. He's got great balance. He's a very difficult back to bring down. You just have to find ways to get this guy the ball in space. Every coach on the staff right now in Kansas City wants a piece of Dexter McCluster. He's a multi-dimensional player who's touched the ball as a receiver, as a runner, and as a kick and punt returner.
Thomas Jones is the deep back. Give it to him on the delay. Bounces off the pile and inside the 5.
Well, I think it's really important to know what back is in the game, but regardless, all of these backs here in Kansas City, they're very slippery. They have the ability to bounce runs to the outside. That's why it's really important if you're Jacksonville to contain, to set the wall and force these backs up inside.
Rasheed Mathis saved the touchdown. Jones remains in the game. 2nd and 2 from the 3. Jones again.
Thomas Jones on the carry.
And he'll be, depending on the spot, just short of the first down.
Get a look at Mike Vrabel coming in the game, and if you're Jacksonville, you always have to be alert for Mike Vrabel in this part of the field. Got 10 career catches, Bill, all 10 for touchdowns. Guy is very sneaky in this part of the field.
They had just announced him as an eligible receiver. So 3rd and 1. Jones is the deep back in the power I. Trying to find a hole. He cuts it back. He's stopped short. Kirk Morrison hit him hard.
Well, Todd Haley's another head coach that doesn't mind going for it either. He's gone for it 7 times this season. Good job by that Jacksonville defense stringing that run out.
So Jamal Charles checks in. Thomas Jones is out on 4th and 1 from the 2.
Yeah, this is all of a yard and a half anyway.
Now Vrabel's still in the game, and so there's some confusion on the Kansas City side. Timeout on the field. Jacksonville leads at 10-7. We've reached the 2-minute warning. Chiefs ready to go for it on 4th down. Yard from the first down and 2 yards from the goal line. Jumbo package. Thomas. They give it to him. Tried to hurdle the pile, but did he get a first down?
I think he did.
Ball came loose, but the official said that the whistle had already blown. And they're going to measure.
Well, it's going to be, I think he's got it. I think he's got it by about an inch. Length of the football.
So 1st and goal for Kansas City.
Well, they love that power play. Nice job by the fullback, Mike Cox, and then a good effort here by Thomas Jones. You see him put that ball forward. Dangerous in that part of the field to extend the ball like that.
Darrell Smith, the outside linebacker for Jacksonville, was right there, but a first down for Kansas City. Offset I. Jones, touchdown.
Well, that ball, I think he crossed the goal line, but that ball came out afterwards. He's got to be careful extending that ball, Bill, when he's diving forward. Just takes one hand to knock it out. You're going to watch Thomas Jones. He extends the ball right there. I think he's over clearly, but then it hits a helmet and the ball comes out. But you got to be careful there. This is a dangerous play to extend the ball like that on the goal line.
So touchdown Kansas City. They regain the lead. Trying to make it a 4-point margin. Here's Ryan Suckup.
There might be a situation where Coach Del Rio wants to take a look at it and make sure that it actually was a touchdown.
Timeout Jacksonville. Such a great setting. here in Kansas City. Thomas Jones already with 99 yards and a touchdown in the first half alone. Kansas City picked up 6 first downs on that drive. It was impressive.
We're going to get a good feel for where Todd Bauman is with his recall in terms of this 2-minute.
J.G. Kareem and Tyquan Underwood, the deep men. Short kick. And it will go to Kareem. Gets it out to about the 30-yard line. 1:25 left to go in the half.
Well, Dirk Cutter, the offensive coordinator in Jacksonville, said that Todd Bauman's recall of the playbook was outstanding. I think we're going to get a good sense for where he's at. You know, he went through each segment of the game plan with the offensive coordinator. They asked him to list and order the plays he liked in each situation. Red zone, 2-minute, third down passes. So my sense is that this part of the plan, the 2-minute, has been scaled down specifically for Todd Bauman.
From the 30, Bauman flushed from the pocket. Pulls it down and out of bounds at the 36-yard line. Javier Arenas drove him out of bounds. Well, coming up with the Sprint halftime report, join JB, Dan, Shannon, Boomer, and Coach Cower for all the latest NFL scores and highlights. That's all coming up on week 7 of the Sprint halftime report. 2nd and 4, 1:17 remaining. Spotted at the Jacksonville 36-yard line. Underwood, the motion man. Bauman, short drop, the slant. Mike Sims Walker, and he's out across the 45, close to the 46-yard line.
You know what's really been impressive? There's no indecision when you watch Todd Bauman. I mean, the ball is coming out quick. He knows right where to go with it. He's seeing the defense. I've been really impressed with what I've seen so far out of Todd Bauman.
Inside of a minute remaining in the half. Bauman. And that was a dangerous throw. Was it a catch? Yes. Mike Sims Walker, they rule it a catch over Brandon Carr and into Kansas City territory.
And he intentionally threw this on the back shoulders. Good coverage, as you mentioned, Bill, but look at this concentration on the boundary. You'd think that these two were working together the entire season.
So a timeout on the
last
field.
play is under video review.
It has been challenged. If it stands, a pickup of 20 yards. Mike Sims Walker. We're back in Kansas City, and it looked like a perfect catch from Mike Sims Walker, able to get 2 feet down.
And Bill, you and I were just talking. You have your Brandon Carr. You got to be frustrated. You got perfect coverage. It takes an excellent throw and catch to get it done on the boundary there, but it looks like Mike Sims Walker gets both feet down.
Out of bounds at the 35-yard line, and 49 seconds left to work with.
The play, the ruling on the field is confirmed with a complete catch. The receiver maintained possession of the ball and got first down Jacksonville.
Now, if I'm the play caller in Jacksonville, I'm going to be constantly talking in the ear of Todd Bauman, reminding him of the situation. Remember, he's been out of football for a while now. 49 seconds left. You got a timeout. Incompletions here won't kill you. You got to be smart. We just can't afford to have a sack or a turnover.
Bauman back at the 40-yard line. 1st and 10. They run the screen to Maurice Jones-Drew. He's got some running room. Back inside. And down to the 18-yard line.
Pass complete to Maurice Jones-Drew. He was tackled by Derek Johnson.
Jacksonville takes a timeout. 1 remains with 38 seconds left in the half.
And you always have to be aware of Maurice Jones-Drew in the screen game. Simple pitch and catch, but boy, when he gets the ball out in space, he can really hurt you. And I really got to give credit to Jack Del Rio. That's a great place for a timeout. We did a game last week, Bill, you and I, out in San Francisco, and Alex Smith in a very similar situation doesn't take the timeout. They run off about 23 seconds. It's time you can't put back on the clock. There's other ways to stop the clock here. Incompletion, you can clock it. Very good use of a timeout in that situation. Good look at Dirk Cutter there in the middle of the screen. The offensive coordinator Talk about his week and how crazy it's been. He loses both the first and second string quarterback, David Garrard and Trent Edwards, and he's got to coach up a guy like Todd Bauman who came down from the farm. I'm sure he didn't get a whole lot of sleep this week, either Todd or the offensive coordinator.
On Tuesday, Todd Bauman was back home in Minnesota on a tractor, helping his dad bring in the corn harvest when he got the phone call in the field from the Jacksonville Jaguars.
You can't make it up.
Has he responded? Bauman, incomplete. Tried to hit the rookie, Deji Kareem. 2nd and 10.
Covered by Derek Johnson.
And Bill, when we sat down and visited with Todd Bauman last night, I just got the sense that he felt really comfortable. I mean, it was almost as if he was not only was he thankful, but he was really looking forward to this opportunity. You know, he mentioned to us that, you know, he's got his wife and his 2 children here. His kids never really remember him as a quarterback when he was with New Orleans. They were too young to remember that. They're both here today watching their dad.
And he was almost more excited about that. His kids getting a chance to see him play. 2nd and 10. And that was almost and should have been intercepted. Derek Johnson had it and couldn't bring it down.
And that's the problem. Derek Johnson was actually in coverage on the back, and because the back didn't get out, Derek Johnson was free to jump up and make that play. I don't know that Todd Bauman ever saw him or felt him. You're going to see him on the right part of your screen. He's actually in coverage on the back. Very athletic play by Derek Johnson.
Kansas City defense will try to stiffen on 3rd and 10. They lead by 4, 30 seconds left in the half.
Comes the pressure.
And showing blitz, and they bring everybody to the end zone. A lot of pushing and shoving and a flag. And there was hand fighting all the way down. They're going to call it on Brandon Carr.
Well, you're right, Bill. A little bit of pushing going on from both of them. But the problem is that Brandon Carr never looked back.
Defense, number 39. The foul occurred in the end zone. The ball is to the 1-yard line. Automatic first down.
Well, you're going to see the matchup. Mike Sims-Walker on Brandon Carr. Now, there's a little bit of pushing on. Look at Mike Sims-Walker right here. He's pushing Brandon Carr. Boy, that could have gone either way. Look at this. He's got him by the jersey. Now watch right there. And you can see Todd Haley wasn't at all happy with that call.
1st and goal.
Now they're all confused right now.
Greg Jones is alone in the backfield. Short drop and incomplete. Intended for Mercedes Lewis. Eric Berry, the rookie, had the coverage. 2nd and goal.
Well, that's the matchup they wanted. The big tight end, Mercedes Lewis, on the smaller Eric Berry. And these are the type of throws that Todd hasn't had the luxury of having, you know, the reps in practice. These throws that are very specific in this part of the field. The timing and rhythm just not there.
2nd and goal, 22 seconds left in the half. Maurice Jones-Drew trying to move the pile. No signal, and he'll be short of the goal line. Only 1 rushing touchdown this season for Maurice Jones-Drew. 11 seconds left in the half, and let's take a look at Todd Bauman's day so far.
Well, he got off to a good start, makes that big 3rd down throw. I thought he's done a nice job getting everybody involved, mixing it up, putting some good touch throws, giving Maurice Jones-Drew a chance to make a play, throwing a touchdown there. 11 of 18 for 152 yards and 1 touchdown. He's been outstanding for the Jaguars.
And we talked to Jack Del Rio, Todd Bauman last night, and we both kind of looked at each other because they both seemed very confident. And we were thinking, well, should they be that confident because they haven't really worked together over the last few weeks? Sure, Bauman's been with the organization off and on, but this kind of performance has to be a surprise. Another look at it. See if he crossed the goal line. And that's awfully close. Hard to tell because there were so many bodies in the way.
Yeah, and he's not the biggest back to even find in that pile, Bill. I don't know if you're really going to be able to tell. You're going to see Maurice Jones-Drew, and of course, he runs right up in the middle of the sea of red, and right about here he gets lost. But I don't get the sense that you see his helmet. You'll see his helmet kind of right here. But I don't get the sense that the ball is actually over the line of scrimmage. Certainly you can't tell. He gets pushed back right there in the middle of that pile. You can see the official up the top's got a good look at it as well. And he has him about a foot short.
It has to be conclusive, of course, to overturn the call.
I don't care how many different camera angles you have in that situation. With Maurice Jones-Drew, when he gets lost in that big pile of big bodies.
It's like he's 5'6" in every direction. He is one solid guy.
You know, I just had a sense of this game. This was going to be a close game. You look at the two teams. You know, both teams want to run the football, stop the run. I felt good about Todd Bauman's chances today. I don't think a lot of people gave him much of an opportunity in this one, but the coaching staff in Jacksonville was very comfortable and confident that he'd be able to come out here and play well today.
After reviewing the play, the rule on the field stands. The run is short of the goal line. 3rd down.
Joe Boger, our referee, so 3rd and goal. 14 seconds remaining for Jacksonville.
Well, in this situation, you'd think you have to throw it because, of course, if you don't get it, it'd be very difficult to run the field goal unit on the field, but it would certainly surprise the Chiefs if they ran it here. I think they throw it. Wouldn't be surprised to see him roll out the quarterback, Todd Bauman.
Out of timeouts. Jones-Drew alone in the backfield. And now Kansas City will take a timeout. Giving Romeo Crennel a chance to see the cards. What Jacksonville was trying to do.
Check out Mike Vrabel. This guy is unbelievable. You and I watched practice, Bill, on Friday, and I said that the tempo was great. Players were flying around. Really impressed with what I saw. There was a lot of coaching going on, and it wasn't just the coaches. It was this guy right here, Mike Vrabel. He is amazing. He's been excellent with the younger players. He watches film. He's like another coach on the field. And Romeo Crennel, of course, had Mike Vrabel in New England. He said he's been a tremendous asset.
Still loves playing the game. His 14th year out of Ohio State. He'll go out and run with the scout team. Just loves being out there. Maurice Jones-Drew alone in the backfield. They're going to throw it. Corner of the end zone. Incomplete. Intended for Mercedes Lewis. Josh Scobie will come out. Try the field goal.
Well, we know they like to throw it to Mercedes Lewis down in this part of the field. Again, the touch. A little too much air on this ball. You have to give your tight end a chance to make a play. You can see the frustration from Todd Bauman.
Derek Johnson with good coverage out there on Mercedes Lewis, who came in with 5 touchdown receptions. Josh Scobie, he's been perfect this season. 13 of 13.
The kick is good.
And with 7 seconds remaining in the half, it is a 1-point game. 14-13 Kansas City. Well, Wednesday on CBS, when the prosecution fights dirty, the defenders fight back. Jim Belushi and Jerry O'Connell star Wednesday on CBS, The Defenders, CBS America's most watched network.
And Bill, and just watching Todd Bauman here in the first half, if I'm coaching him, my coaching point for him is he's putting a little too much air on some of these throws down here in the red zone. A little less loft. He needs to get the ball up and down a little bit more, and the ball's floating on him a little bit, and it's going to cause him a problem down the road. One of these safeties that have great range back there, a guy like Eric Berry is going to make a play on him. He's got to get it up and down a little bit quicker in that part of the field.
Of course, all things considered, where he was 5 days ago, and Jacksonville coming off a very tough one-sided loss on Monday night. Bauman has performed exceptionally well. He told us, he said, it's not just about what you can do on the field, it's about what you decide not to do. Don't go for too much. Don't make a mistake, and he has been mistake-free so far today. Arenas is the deep man. And they will kick it through the end zone for a touchback.
Touchback.
7 seconds remaining in the first half. This has been a good one here in Kansas City.
Well, the Chiefs got to get something going in the passing game here in the second half. We'll go in there at halftime and talk about adjustments. Matt Castle just 3 of 6 for 51 yards in the first half. They've been very run heavy. I think they need to start throwing the ball a little bit on first down.
First and 10, Kansas
Two
City.
teams played in Jacksonville last November. Jaguars winning 24-21. They have dominated the series, winning 6 of 8. Jamal Charles. And that will be the final play of the first half. Our score, Kansas City 14, Jacksonville 13. And a great half for Todd Bauman. We'll be back with the Sprint halftime report after this message and a word from your local CBS station. We're back in Kansas City, ready to start the second half. 14-13 Chiefs. Bill McAtee along with Rich Gannon. It's going to be hard to keep Todd Bauman down on the farm if he keeps playing like he has so far today.
Bill, it's really amazing. He's been outstanding in the first half. His numbers are good, and he told us last night, I need to get off to a good start, come in, make some decisions. But this guy, he's not afraid to pull the trigger. He's taken some shots. The most impressive thing, though, he's not turning the ball over. That's important for this offense.
And let's take a look now at our All-State points of protection.
Well, just the one turnover in the first half for Jacksonville, and that really came via the punt return from Mike Thomas. They got that cleaned up. And, of course, Kansas City, you talk about protecting the lead. They've struggled a little bit in the second half, but specifically in the fourth quarter. They've had fourth quarter collapses the last 2 weeks. They've been outscored 31-7 in the fourth quarter in losses to the Colts and the Texans last week.
And the Chiefs will get it to start the third quarter. Javier Arenas awaits the Josh Scobie kick.
There you go.
And it goes out of bounds. So good field position to start for Kansas City.
Kickoff out of bounds. Number 10 of the kicking team.
Let's take a look at
the ball be placed at the 40-yard line.
first half numbers.
Now you see the rushing differential, I mean, which has been typical for the Chiefs so far this season. You know, look at the completions there. You know, I think if I'm coaching Matt Castle, we got to get this guy going a little bit. You know, he didn't have a lot of opportunities in the first half. They just threw it 6 times. I think they need to throw the football a little bit in first down and soften up this front.
From the 40-yard line, opening possession of the second half for the Kansas City Chiefs. Keep it on the ground. Jones goes over 100 yards and out of bounds, close to midfield.
But then again, if you're going to get 8 yards on first down running the ball every time, maybe that's not a bad deal. But I still think you need to throw it. You're going to see as you watch the Jacksonville defense, they're going to start in a lot of these 2 deep shells in the secondary, and then they're going to roll one of those safeties down because they want to get 8 defenders up in the box. And when you do that, there's some real opportunities, some one-on-one opportunities on the outside lane against these corners.
With Thomas Jones and Jamal Charles, the Chiefs came in as the only team in the league with 2 300-yard rushers through the first 6 weeks of the season. Charles is in the backfield. They'll throw. Castle wants to go deep. Bo! He's got it! Bo's still on his feet. Touchdown, Kansas City!
Well, Bill, they're giving up too many big plays through the air. It's been a problem all year for this secondary. You're going to see Dwayne Bowe. He's going to come across the formation. Now, 2 deep coverage. Rasheem Mathis knows he has help over the top from the safety, Don Carey. They do a poor job in their angles, and then they don't do a good job finishing and making a tackle. Dwayne Bowe, very difficult to bring down in the open field.
53 yards. Castle to Bowe. And a quick strike for the Kansas City offense. The extra point by Suckup is good. And the Chiefs extend their lead, 21-13. And how about that to start the second half for Kansas City. "53 yards on the touchdown pass from Matt Castle to Dwayne Bowe. And Jacksonville has had trouble at the safety position. Don Carey late getting over. Rasheed Mathis had let Bowe go, and the result, a Kansas City touchdown. Kareem fields it at the 7. Still on his feet. That was a nifty little move for Deji Kareem, and a nice return out across the 40-yard line. Ryan Suckup, the kicker, made the stop.
Well, you mentioned, Bill, it's been a revolving door at the safety position, and they're giving up too many big plays through the air. You see right there, 15 touchdown passes allowed, 28 plays of 20 yards or more, and 9 plays of 40 yards or more. And it's been a problem. You know, they had Reggie Nelson and Gerald Alexander. They were shown the door the first week. They brought back Alexander after Sean Considine injured his hamstring. Anthony Smith was traded a couple weeks ago. 6 different starters at 2 positions in the secondary.
Maurice Jones-Drew stopped at the 40 by Glenn Dorsey. The Jaguars have used 6 different starters at safety this season and 11 over the last 55 games, trying to find some guys who can play in the right combination. Today they went with the young guys, Courtney Green and Don Carey. They came in ranked 27th in the league on defense and 28th against the pass, but giving up a lot of big plays. A very unsettled position for Jacksonville. Loss of 2 on the previous play. 2nd and 12. Power I formation. Play action. Bauman's going to go deep. Mike Thomas. And a flag on the play. Eric Berry, the rookie, had the coverage. And you can tell from the crowd's reaction, the preliminary signal against Kansas City.
Pass interference. Defense, number 29. Spot the foul, automatic, first down.
And the problem with Eric Berry is he never looks back to find the ball. Watch, the receiver's actually going to push off. You're going to see Mike Thomas. Berry's trying to make the play. The problem is that Berry never turns back around to find the ball. The official will call that every time.
So they spotted at the Kansas City 23-yard line. Big penalty for the Jags. Down by 8. Maurice Jones-Drew cuts it back. Just short of the 20.
Well, there's been a number of big pass interference calls against this defense today. The good thing is Todd Bauman of the Jacksonville Jaguars is giving the receivers a chance. He's not shy. He's willing to throw the ball up there and give these receivers a chance to go up and make a play against this secondary.
Bauman 1 and 5 in his career, 11 years in the league as a starter, but you came away impressed with him, Rich, last night. He has a certain swagger. Didn't sense that the situation was going to be too big for him, and that has been the case so far today. 2nd and 7. That's caught by Lewis. Brought down immediately after a short gain by Javon Belcher.
I don't think people really realize just how difficult it is for a quarterback who hasn't been on a football team to come in a short week and be able to go out and play like he is today, Bill. It's amazing, you know, just to be able to filter all the information, to be able to process it, get up there, make good decisions, and not only that, but you know he hasn't had a lot of work with any of these receivers.
3rd and 4 from the 17-yard line. They have to get it to the 13 for a first down. Out to Zach Miller, and he's close to the first down.
And he just looks so comfortable right now. And you know, when we talked with him last night, he spent way more time this week on their own plan as opposed to looking at tape of the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm almost positive he's not all that certain about the personnel in Kansas City. If you ask him who the secondary was, he might not even be able to name this group.
So they spot it just inside the 10-yard line. 1st and goal for Jacksonville. Trying to answer the quick strike by the Chiefs. Maurice Jones-Drew bounces off the pile. No room.
see the front of that Kansas City defensive line, and Sean Smith has done a nice job today. You also see Javon Belcher. Really been impressed with Belcher and Derek Johnson. They've done an outstanding job in the middle of that 3-4 defense in terms of stopping the run.
Bauman from the shotgun. Jones-Drew is with him. Bauman with time to the end zone. Touchdown. Mike Sims Walker with the touchdown catch from Bauman.
It's funny, all these touchdown catches are in the same end zone where his wife is sitting with his children. Good look at Courtney, and they just do a nice job. They're going to have one receiver go to the corner, one go out to the flat. It's a high-low read, and the safety does not do a good enough job. You're going to see Eric Berry. He is late getting over there. He has to react quicker.
His third touchdown reception of the season. Mike Sims Walker came in with 18 catches for 214 yards. Scobie's extra point is good, and once again, it's a one-point game. The crowd's still upset over that key pass interference call. Courtney, Aiden, and Avery, well, they like it. You can build your own football dynasty and compete year-round with CBSSports.com franchise football. Find out more at CBSSports.com/franchise. As we welcome you back to Kansas City, 21-20 after the Jacksonville touchdown. How about those numbers for Todd Bauman? First NFL action in 5 years, 14-22, 172, no interceptions, and now 2 touchdown passes.
You got a good look at Mike Shore there in the middle, and Mike actually talked to him on the phone before he got on the plane Tuesday night. Said, I want you to think about some of these concepts, some of these protections, how we're going to block up this 3-4 defense.
Arenas standing back on his own goal line. And he will take a knee 5 yards deep in the end zone. So the Kansas City Chiefs will go right back to work. We've had 24 points scored in the last 6 minutes of play going back to the end of the first half. Great action. It's one of the great venues in sports, the new Arrowhead Stadium. We welcome you back to Kansas City. 3-3 Jacksonville Jaguars to 3-2 Kansas City Chiefs, who lead in the AFC West. Trying to snap a 2-game losing streak after that great start this season, 3-0. Matt Castle back to work from his own 20-yard line. Jamal Charles in the backfield, play action. Boyaki, the tight end, with some running room and upended at the 35. Rasheed Mathis made the stop.
Well, somebody was listening to me. I told him I had to start throwing the ball on first down. You have to be able to change things up. I think it's really important. And, of course, if you're running it so well, these play action, these nakeds and boots can really be good, especially when you have a tight end like Tony Moeaki, who can really do some damage in the open field.
Third-round draft pick out of the University of Iowa, so first round down for Kansas City.
A little different look, balanced look. They can run it either way.
Toss it back to Charles. Cuts back inside. Gets it out to the 36-yard line. Tyson Alualu, the rookie out of Cal, the 10th overall pick in the draft, made the stop. Alualu, the only rookie starting on this Jacksonville defense. First round pick. Tell you, pair him with pot roast Terrence Knight, and you got a big presence inside.
Yeah, it's been a work in progress. A defensive line. 9 of the club's 11 defensive linemen were not with the team a year ago. They rebuilt that entire front.
2nd and 8. Thomas Jones is back in. A nice hole. And a quick burst across the 40 to the 43-yard line. Kirk Morrison made the tackle.
Gain of 7 yards on the play.
Great 1-2 punch for the Kansas City Chiefs. Charles and Jones will complement on the field and off the field. Jones, the veteran, he's a pretty serious guy. You got Jamal Charles, who's a lot looser, younger guy. Dexter McCluster has checked in now. Charles running the Wildcat. McCluster can do so many different things. Todd Haley told us he's already one of his favorites of all time. He says he's cool, but he brings a lot of enthusiasm. He's a real symbol of the new Kansas City Chiefs.
Well, he gives them great speed and versatility. There's a number of different things that they can do with them, and I think the important thing, as Todd Haley told us, we got to make sure we don't wear them out. It's a punt returner, a kick returner. We got him a receiver. We put him in the back. We hand him the football.
First down. First set of downs for Kansas City.
First and 10, Kansas City from the Chiefs 45.
What do you think about this week, Bill? And a hot button topic was the violent hits we saw last week in the National Football League, and a lot of fans were upset about the league. And I don't think they were necessarily trying to change the rule. I think they're trying to increase awareness and send a message to the players that these unnecessary hits on defenseless players need to stop.
They give it to Charles, who has a nice hole up the middle and is into Jacksonville territory. Darrell Smith, the outside linebacker, made the tackle.
Made of 7 yards on the play.
I was mentioning about the hits, and I think people need to understand that the league's not really trying to change the rules. I think they're really trying to educate the players, and really the fact that the matter is that there's really no reason for some of these hits. And I just and the other thing I think when you look at it is it's the inexperience at the quarterback position. The quarterback's not doing a good enough job looking out in front of the throws, really leading to some of these receivers into these head-on collisions, which become a problem.
Clusters the deep back, and they give it to him, and he's going to be stopped for a loss back at the 49-yard line. Aaron Campman led the charge. Came in after 8 seasons and 2 Pro Bowls in Green Bay to try to help jumpstart the Jacksonville pass rush. Already with a sack today in his 9th year out of Iowa.
They've done a great job. They talked about rebuilding this defensive line, and that guy right there, Aaron Campman, was a big part of it. Just the 14 sacks a year ago, Bill. 5th lowest total in league history. So they go out and get Campman, and they go out and get Alulu. They're much better up front.
3rd and 5 for Kansas City. Charles is in the backfield, and we have a whistle before the snap. Chiefs take a timeout. So 6:45 left to go in the 3rd. 1-point game. Kansas City 21-20. 3rd down at midfield for the Kansas City Chiefs after the timeout. 7th play of the drive coming up. 3rd and 5. Thomas Jones. And he'll be well short of a first down.
We're a little curious about that call there. 3rd and 5. They get in their heavy personnel and they try and run it. You're not going to convert many of them against this Jacksonville defense.
Tyson Alulu and Justin Durant combined to make the stop.
I don't think Todd Haley was at all happy with that call. And that's the problem you have when you look at Todd Haley. Bill, he called the plays last year. He's relying on Charlie Weiss this year. They're not always going to agree on every call.
Justin Colquitt standing back at his own 35-yard line. Mike Thomas is back deep for Jacksonville. It's a fair catch call, and Jacksonville will go to work at their own 10-yard line. Under 6 minutes remaining in the 3rd. 1-point game. Great one here at Arrowhead. On their feet here in Kansas City as Jacksonville starts just inside their own 10-yard line. 1st and 10. Todd Bauman, who signed on Tuesday, has done an outstanding job, but this is a dangerous area for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Maurice Jones-Drew up the middle, across the 10, close to the 12-yard line. Todd Bauman with a couple of touchdown throws today.
Yeah, really, and in the red zone, he's just done a nice job sitting in there, feeling the pressure, but giving the receivers a chance to make a play. You see his family, how excited they are. And then this one, I was really impressed, giving Mike Sims-Walker a shot in the back of the end zone. Done a nice job seeing out in front of throws.
His only win as a starter came back in 2001. That was his very first start. 1 and 5 as a starter coming in. Short drop for Bauman. Picked off! Touchdown, Kansas City, Derek Johnson!
Bill, Bill, you were out in front of this. I got to give you credit. You talked about being careful here. He's late with his eyes. He never feels Derek Johnson when he comes back. He starts to his left. He's late coming back inside to Zach Potter. Watch his eyes. He starts to his left, and as he comes back, he never feels the linebacker. Bill, you were out in front of that. You said he had to be careful, backed up in his own end. He's been flawless so far. That one mistake really hurt him.
First real mistake for Todd Bauman, and it is a costly one as the Chiefs add to their lead with 5:13 remaining in the third. It's now 28-20, Kansas City. Well, the new NFL.com mobile apps have arrived. No matter where you are, you can track scores, set fantasy lineups, and get highlights of your team's big plays. Go to NFL.com/mobile to learn more.
Well, Bill, turnovers have been a problem for this offense. 15 offensive turnovers through the first 6 games. They have a -7 coming into this game. That's the second worst in the league, only to San Francisco. And you see right there, Derek Johnson. This guy has really made a number of plays for this defense this year. He leads the team in tackles, 3 interceptions as well.
Jacksonville with those 4 turnovers on Monday night. 58 points they've given up on turnovers. That's the most in the NFL. In addition to the turnover differential -7 that Rich just spoke of. So Bauman only down by 8, but he'll have to regroup.
It was late with his eyes getting back inside. It's always difficult when you start working one side of the field and you come back into the middle. You have to make sure you see those zoning linebackers.
A.J. Kareem back deep, along with Tyquan Underwood for Jacksonville. Short kick, fielded at the 8. Kareem brings it out to about the 24-yard line. So Bauman. Duran Tucker, by the way, made the stop. So Bauman back to work. His numbers, 14 of 23, 172, 2 touchdowns, and the interception a few moments ago.
Well, you have to put that play behind you. It's no different than when you throw a touchdown. The interception, you got to put it behind you, move on.
Spotted just inside the 25-yard line.
It was one thing Joe Montana was so good at. His demeanor never changed. Whether it was a big touchdown throw and an interception that got returned for a touchdown, he was the same guy the next play.
Power I formation. Bauman will throw. Flush from the pocket. Gets rid of it, incomplete. And let's check in once again with JB in New York for an update.
All right, fellas, take a look here. Ed Reed off the PUP list for the first time this year with a pick. And that led to this flea flicker here. Flacco up top to Anquan Bolden. 34-yard hookup. It is now 27-24. Baltimore back to Bill McAtee and Rich Gannon.
All right, nice comeback by the Ravens coming off an overtime loss to the Patriots. The Bills still looking for their first win of the season. Maurice Jones-Drew. Tough running against this Kansas City defense. Sean Smith on the stop. And again, to JB in New York for an update.
Right. Hey, Bill and Rich, take a look here. Carson Palmer hooking up with Terrell Owens on this, a 19-yard pass play for the score. 3 catches by T.O. on that drive. He's got 7 catches, 81 yards and a touchdown in that game there since he trailing by 11. Back to Bill and Rich.
Big mountain to climb for the Cincinnati Bengals coming off a bye week, trying to get Carson Palmer and those Cincinnati receivers in sync in the passing game. 3rd and 10 for Jacksonville. Bauman still on his feet and has to throw it away.
Boy, Tamba Hali has been very disruptive today, as has Glenn Dorsey. They're doing a great job working together on the right side of that defensive line, making things a little bit more difficult for Todd Bauman here in the second half.
Go from Tamba Hali trying to strip the ball away to Glenn Dorsey rumbling, stumbling, and bumbling, try to chase you down. And he had to throw it away. So we'll see. Adam Podlish, the punter. Arenas is back deep, standing at his own 29-yard line. And the Kansas City Chiefs are going to take a timeout.
Charge timeout, Kansas City.
They don't have enough men on the field. That's the problem.
Comes with 4:04 left to go in the third. Well, tonight on 60 Minutes, how did a TV show about guys and cars and laughs become one of the most popular shows on the planet? Find out tonight on 60 Minutes, only on CBS, America's #1 network.
Well, that really bothered Todd Haley. They had to burn a timeout there because they only had 9 men on the field for a punt return. I hate to use those timeouts.
I have to say, we watched the Chiefs on Friday, and it was a crisp, no-nonsense practice. The guys were focused. They weren't happy after those 2 fourth-quarter losses to Indy and Houston. They were really focused on coming back today and getting in the win column once again.
This is an area they've been very good in punt returns.
High punt by Podlish. Arena makes the fair catch at the 20-yard line. Well, coming next, Tom Brady leads the Patriots out west to meet Phillip Rivers and the Chargers, or the Raiders tackle the Broncos. Check your local listings for the game in your area. In week 7 here in the National Football League, that was a 55-yard punt, by the way. And they'll spot it just inside the 20-yard line.
But San Diego happy to be back home. 2-4. They've lost all 4 games on the road to teams with losing records a year ago. They've been very good at home, but boy, they're really struggling on the road. San Diego's a tough team to figure out, as are the Dallas Cowboys.
Thomas Jones is the deep back. 1st and 10 for the Chiefs. They lead by 8. Give it to Jones. Now to the 23-yard line, a pickup of 3.
Tackled by Aaron Campman.
Chiefs have already won here at home against San Diego and San Francisco, so they have already equaled their total of home wins over the last 2 seasons combined.
And you have to be able to win here at home. This has always been an advantage, this Arrowhead advantage. When you get the crowd into it, doing a much better job putting people in the stands, and that's because the product on the field is better.
Jones stays in the game. 16 yards on 14 carries. He'll get another one here. Picks up maybe 1.
Tackled by Justin Durant.
Curtin Morrison and Justin Durant combined to make the stop. As we look at the standings in the AFC West, the Chiefs come in leading at 3-2, the only team in the division with a winning record.
Yeah, and really, I think it's up in the air, Bill. I mentioned San Diego. They were 13-3 a year ago. They won 11 in a row to finish out the season. But all these teams in this division, I think Denver's better, and clearly the Raiders and Chiefs are a much improved football team from 2009.
3rd and 7. Jamal Charles is in the game, so is McCluster. Castle slings it. That's McCluster. And he's got a first down for Kansas City. Well, he's fun to watch. Darrell Smith made the tackle.
Well, Todd Haley told us he is their best route runner right now. Dexter McCluster. He can do it all. I mentioned the fact that, you know, they're going to wear him out. I mean, they hand him the football. He's got great speed once he gets on the edge. He's willing to run up inside with some power as well. Of course, he catches the ball. He's a very good route runner, and he's difficult to bring down after the catch.
500 all-purpose yards and 34 touches coming in.
Here he is again.
Roll it out, Charles. And another first down right at the sticks. Excuse me, McCluster.
You know, you just look at certain players, and you know, the guy's 5'8", 170 pounds. He's a rookie, but he's a football player. I mean, he just got a great feel for the game, and when he gets the ball in his hands, good things happen.
Todd Haley said he's the most versatile player he's ever seen. He says he's only a rookie. He's played primarily at running back, and Richie mentioned he's already, in Todd Haley's opinion, the best route runner on the team.
And they have so much more team speed because of players like McCluster, Jamal Charles, Moriarty, the tight end position. It's really helped Matt Castle.
Package stays in the game, and they get it to the rookie tight end. Moriarty got a catch at close to the 48-yard line. Morrison made the stop.
Well, Moriarty has led the team in receptions in 4 of their 5 games so far this season. He's the leading receiver coming into today's game, and he just got a great sense and feel for the coverage. He's very good at work in the middle of the field. He's made some outstanding catches, and they're doing a better job of moving him around. He's not just an inline tight end. They can line him up in the slot. They can put him out wide. He's very comfortable running routes against corners and safeties.
3 catches, 42 yards already. Matt Castle's favorite receiver as they toss it back to Jones, and he'll lose a couple. Good penetration that time from the Jacksonville front. Justin Durant, who came back last week after missing 3 games with an ankle injury, made the stop. 2nd-round pick back in 2007, 4th year out of Hampton.
Well, I really think as you look at this Jacksonville defense, Bill, the linebackers are the strength of the unit right now. Very good athleticism and speed, and I think getting Kurt Morrison from Oakland has helped in the middle as well. They need more help on the back end right now. The safety position is really holding back this defense.
Speed package is back in. Castle on the move, sidearms it. McCluster with the catch. Derek Cox made the stop. And we have a flag on the play. Let's check the penalty.
Well, when Dexter McCluster comes running at you, you don't have a whole lot of time to make a decision if you're trying to cover him. He gets up on you quick. That speed, you can really feel it. He forces you to make quick decisions if you're a defensive player.
Holding, defense, number 27. 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
All right, that was Rasheem Mathis. That's actually away from the play. He's going to wind up grabbing Dwayne Bowe.
Mathis, a Pro Bowl corner back in 2006. So into Jacksonville territory. Jaguars 48-yard line. They'll run the clock, and that will be it for the 3rd quarter. Our score, Kansas City 28, Jacksonville 20, and we'll return to Kansas City after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Two touchdowns in the 3rd quarter for Kansas City, and they lead it 28-20 and have the football 1st and 10 in Jacksonville territory. Jaguars showing blitz, and we have a false start call against the Chiefs.
False start, offense, number 82. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Dwayne Bowe.
And that's one thing, Bill, he needs to work on. He needs to work on his consistency in everything he does. His preparation, his route running, his catching of the football. Too many drops from him the last couple of seasons, as I mentioned. Had a tendency to take his eyes off the ball, and he's got a tendency to make some mental mistakes.
Chiefs came in leading the league with only 9 penalties on offense, giving up the fewest penalty yards as well overall. 1st and 15. Castle able to get rid of it, and that's caught. McCluster once again. He's having a big day.
Well, they do a nice job moving around Dexter McCluster. You're going to see him right here in the middle of your screen. He just has a great feel. They want to get him matched up in space, and he's just running these little option routes against the linebackers in their nickel corner.
William Middleton, the nickel back, gave him plenty of cushion. So nice pickup. 2nd down, 2nd and 6 for Kansas City. At the Jacksonville 44-yard line. Castle up top, miscommunication. Bowe came back inside. Castle thought he was going to go up the sideline, incomplete.
And this is just what we were talking about, Bill. You can see the frustration from Matt Castle. They need more production from the wide receivers. I mentioned Dwayne Bowe, his inconsistencies. Just Chris Chambers didn't even dress today, but these guys combined for just 22 catches, and you're going to see Castle here. He's expecting him to go deep. And what happens is he works inside. This could have been an interception. And you can see the frustration from Matt Castle.
And that was Castle's first incomplete pass in the second half. So 3rd and 6 for Kansas City, trying to keep this drive alive. The delay. Jamal Charles looking for running room. He's got a first down. Down to the 31-yard line. Jamal Charles. Campman made the stop from behind.
It's amazing when you think about Jamal Charles. He's averaging 6.3 a carry coming into today's game. That's the highest average in league history. And he's just so patient, and you just see him watching right here. He can change directions very easily. He's got those quick feet. He always seems to be falling forward at the end of runs.
Only 2 players in the league had more than 1,000 yards rushing since week 9 coming in. Week 9 of last season, that was Chris Johnson and Jamal Charles. Thomas Jones this time, and he's brought down at the 30-yard line by Don Carey, the free safety.
Bill, we mentioned the penalties and how the Chiefs have been one of the least penalized teams coming into this game, and something Todd Haley was very proud of when we talked with him on Friday. I remember Marty Schottenheimer, my old coach here in Kansas City, used to always say, you have no chance to win with dumb players. And then just 9 offensive penalties coming into today's game, and that's impressive. And you have 9 penalties. You don't turn the football over. They've been much better in terms of the sacks. That's winning offensive football.
2nd and 9. Charles is in the game. He gets it. Falls forward to the 28-yard line. Talk about the versatility of Dexter McCluster. Jamal Charles, very similar. Came in with 548 yards rushing and receiving, averaging 7 yards a touch to lead all running backs in the NFL.
You see, we're seeing more of Jamal Charles in the game with Dexter McCluster, and again, that gives you a lot of speed and a lot of flexibility as a play caller, and makes it much more difficult for the defense.
12th play of the drive here on 3rd and 7 for Kansas City.
Here comes the blitz.
Short drop, quick out to McCluster. Just battling for an extra yard or 2, but he's going to be short of the first down. William Middleton, the nickel back, made the stop.
You just run this little drag slant where the receiver over the top, and then of course McCluster on the little shoot route. He might have gotten popped in the head there. A little slow coming off the field.
So 4th and 2 for Kansas City, and they're going to go for it.
Boy, an interesting call here. You're up by 8 in field goal range. Oh boy, they're not going to get it.
Charles, good penetration, but he's going to be 3 yards short.
I don't agree with that, Bill. I would have kicked the field goal there.
Carey and Mathis combined to make the stop, so it will go over on downs to the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Very aggressive call in that situation.
11:16 left to play. (28-20) Kansas City with 11:16 left to play. Jacksonville takes over from their own 25-yard line. Todd Bauman from the shotgun. With time, the screen, and Maurice Jones-Drew. He's got some running room. Maurice Jones-Drew. And into Kansas City territory.
They've done a nice job with those screens today. And Bill, I got to tell you, I was very curious as to why Todd Haley chose not to kick that field goal in that situation, especially in light of the fact that they've had some fourth quarter collapses the last 2 weeks.
Mike Vrabel slow getting up. Fourth quarter has been the Achilles heel for the Chiefs in those 2 losses against Indy and Houston. They were outscored in the fourth quarter 31-7 last week against Houston. They allowed the Texans to get into the end zone in each of their last 4 possessions. Todd Haley told us that's where we are. We had some talented young guys, but we have to learn how to finish and put teams away when we have them on the ropes. Big play from Jacksonville. They spotted at the Kansas City 46-yard line after a pickup of 29 yards on the pass to Maurice Jones-Drew. Short drop for Bauman. Pump fake. Mike Sims Walker incomplete. Brandon Carr was with him step for step.
Well, Kendrick Lewis, these safeties are late getting over, but again, Todd Bauman trying to stick one in. This is not a very good decision. You got two deep coverage there. The corner knows that he has help over the top. Pretty good job by Brandon Carr running up the sidelines. Look at the safety. The angle is poor. That angle is too flat. It's got to be higher.
Deji Kareem has checked in now. The lone setback on 2nd and 10. They give it to the rookie, trying to bounce it to the outside and get the edge. And he picks up about 3. That'll bring up 3rd down for Jacksonville. Eric Berry, the strong safety, the rookie out of Tennessee, made the stop.
And that's the thing that Eric Berry can do. And he'll come up and hit you. He's a very physical safety. He likes to be around where the action is.
3rd and 7 for Jacksonville. Down by 8. Bauman from the shotgun. Here comes the blitz. Got rid of it. Incomplete. Had to rush the throw intended for Mike Sims Walker.
And you're going to see pressure. They do a nice job bringing the Javier Arenas and the linebacker right up inside. He's unblocked. Todd Bauman does a nice job holding it as long as he can, but it forces him to get that ball out a split second too soon, and you're not able to hook up.
Javier Arenas, only 5'9", but he was a big part of Alabama's national championship run last season. 2nd round draft pick. Jacksonville has to punt. Arenas is the deep man. High punt. Fair catch called for and made by Arenas at the 15-yard line. So 9:37 left to go. 28-20, Kansas City. The Chiefs will start from their own 15-yard line, trying to run their record to 4-2, which would equal their best start in 12 years. 37 left to play. They keep it on the ground. Jamal Charles had a little bit of a seam, but couldn't quite break through. Aaron Campman brought him down.
If you look at a guy like Jamal Charles, I always say you can't underestimate his speed, but even more importantly, you can't overestimate your own speed, particularly when he gets out on the perimeter. This guy has world-class speed. He was a sprinter at the University of Texas. He can score from anywhere on the field.
Thomas Jones checks in now. 1-2 punch has been effective once again for the Kansas City Chiefs. 2nd and 8. Castle lets it go, and that was almost picked off. It hung up there for Derek Cox, but he could just swat it away. Dwayne Bowe was the intended receiver. Cox led the Jaguars in interceptions as a rookie last year with 4.
This is why you go out and spend the money on Aaron Campman. He has done a nice job today. Been working over there on Brandon Albert. He's been winning a lot of those battles, and of course, do a nice job on the back end. This could have been an interception if Derek Cox would have gotten 2 hands on the ball. Got to find that ball once it leaves the quarterback's hands, but good pressure by Aaron Campman.
3rd and 8 for the Chiefs.
Now you're going to see him on the right side. He do a good job moving him around.
Castle lets it go. What a catch that is by Terrence Copper. He got up there and brought it in over Rasheed Mathis. That's a 1st down for the Chiefs.
Boy, nice job by Matt Castle, give him a chance. Again, pressure again, but he's willing to step up in there and give these receivers a chance. Look at that catch. Great extension by Copper. He knows he's going to get hit, but look at him get up there. Great vertical leaping ability there by Terrence Copper.
That was good for 16 yards on 3rd and 8. So 1st down for Kansas City at their own 33-yard line. Jones picks up a couple. Jones had his first 100-yard game as a Chief last week against Houston. Only LaDainian Tomlinson has rushed for more yards than Thomas Jones since 2005.
They just keep chipping away at you with these different backs. You see Jones come out and Charles come in, and McCluster gets touches, and then all of a sudden you look down there and you notice they've run the ball 35 times for 188 yards.
Charles, the deep back in the offset eye. Mike Cox is the fullback. Toss it back to Charles. Puts it back inside and falls forward across the 40. Didn't look like anything was there, but he made a nice gain out of it. Close to the 42-yard line. Morrison made the stop.
Well, it's no secret who they are as an offense. This is an offense that's committed to running the football. As I mentioned earlier, Bill, about this offensive line, I think they're much better up front. You know, Brian Waters has always been a good player at the left guard position, but getting Ryan Lilja from the Colts and, of course, getting Casey Wigman back, he's the guy that anchors the front. And he really is the stabilizing force. I think it's made Matt Castle's job a whole lot easier, having a great center in there like Casey Wigman.
Wigman back here in Kansas City after 2 years with the Broncos. Pro Bowl center in 08. They get it out to Cox, the fullback, and a nice pickup into Jacksonville territory, and the Jaguars were not expecting that.
No, they weren't, and they're doing a great job mixing it up. They have so many different ways that they come at you, and you never feel the fullback. He's just going to go out into the flat. They don't even cover him. What we say about Matt Castle, he doesn't discriminate. He'll throw it to anybody who's open. The Chiefs have a number of different ways to get the ball on the edge.
13 yards on the play and a fresh set of downs for Kansas City. Just over 6 minutes remaining. Copper the motion man. Castle from the shotgun. You give it to Charles. It gets to the edge. Jamal Charles with a nice little move and out of bounds at the 35-yard line. A late flag.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense, number 21. Making a second act, throwing the runner down, out of bounds.
Late hit from Derek Cox.
Penalty, automatic, first down.
And this will cost them.
Well, first of all, just great job by Jamal Charles. The patience, and of course, Lilja gets out in front. Seems very easy for him. Then, of course, you get the late foul from Derek Cox. Just really no reason for it. I don't know if he just lost track of where he was on the boundary, but you have to be smart.
14 carries, 53 yards now for Charles, who has a touchdown as well. Thomas Jones alone in the backfield. That was good for 11 yards plus the 15, and some flags before the snap. It's going to be a false start.
All-star offense, number 65. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
I guess it's windy. Ryan Lilja.
Well, you hate penalties, but particularly in this part of the field, Bill. You know, you get down here and inside the 20, and of course,
First and 15 from the
you make it difficult on yourself, and you make it difficult on the play caller.
Lilja, by the way, was originally a rookie free agent with Kansas City back in 2004 before his 6 seasons in Indianapolis. So first and 15, Charles with a nice hold. Jamal Charles down inside the 10. It'll be first and goal for Kansas City. Don Carey saved the touchdown.
And we've seen a lot of runs from Jamal Charles outside on the perimeter, but he also shows you that he can run up inside as well. Just cuts it right back up in there. Great vision. And this offensive line, particularly the interior group, are doing a great job getting up on the second level and getting some hats on those linebackers.
18 yards for Jamal Charles. Kansas City looking for the knockout punch. Just over 4.5 minutes remaining. Power I formation, the delay to Thomas Jones.
Thomas Jones on the carry.
Jones is stopped at the line of scrimmage by Terrence Knighton.
They just wear down a defense. When you think about it, they just keep handing the ball off to these backs. 38 carries. It seems like they always have a fresh back in the game.
Second and goal.
Quarterback Mike Cox comes out of the game, and Duran Tucker, the wide receiver, checks in.
Jamal Charles get a blow and put a fresh back in like Thomas Jones. When he gets tired, you put Dexter McCluster in there. A good problem to have.
Jones 19 carries, 117 yards, and a touchdown today. Short drop. Corner of the end zone for Bo. Did he get 2 feet down? Touchdown.
Good concentration here. Look at Dwayne Bowe extend. He's got that 1 foot down. Does a nice job. Looks like he toe touches that left foot as well. Wow, this is great concentration. You'll see the right foot come down. Now watch that left foot right there.
Wow, what a great angle.
That's not easy to do.
Jack Del Rio with the challenge flag. 3:46 left, so outside of the automatic review window.
Jacksonville is challenging the rule on the field of a completed catch for a touchdown.
Well, you just watch where Dwayne Bowe, he's inside, he's going to work outside, and the receiver's going to go inside.
We'll have the results of the review when we come back to Kansas City. Waiting the results of the challenge and the review. Jerome Boger, our referee, and here it is.
After reviewing the play, the rule on the field is a touchdown. Jacksonville is called 1-2 challenge.
Well, we missed the middle part of that, but the results are clear. Touchdown, Kansas City.
That was an outstanding catch by Dwayne Bowe. You're going to see he gets that left foot in. And it's nice if you're a quarterback to have a 6'2" receiver like Dwayne Bowe with a 35-inch vertical jump that can make those plays on the sidelines.
Succop on to try the extra point to extend the Kansas City lead. And does with 3:46 left to play. Chiefs now in control, 35. They lead it. Jacksonville has 20. Chiefs with their highest scoring output of the season, 35 points. Bo with his second touchdown reception of the game, coming off a season high 108 yards on 6 catches with 2 touchdowns last week against the Texans. But no fourth quarter collapse today for Kansas City. 3:46 left to play. Kareem from the 5. Out to the 25-yard line. Well, coming up next, this doubleheader Sunday here on CBS. Tom Brady leads the Patriots out west to meet Phillip Rivers and the Chargers, or the Raiders tackle the Broncos. Check your local listings for the game in your area. It's coming up here on CBS. Chiefs look like they're going to run their record to 4-2 and win their 3rd straight game at home for the first time since 2003. Bauman from the shotgun. Flush from the pocket. Finally throws it away.
He was pressured by Demario Williams. 2nd down and 10 from the Jacksonville 25-yard line.
Jack Del Rio. He brought up a good point to us, Rich, and that is that this team really in many ways is just kind of reloading. They had 33 new players on the roster a year ago, including 15 rookies. Still won 7 games, so they're still in the 2nd year of trying to rebuild. Maurice Jones-Drew makes 1 man miss and then out of bounds at about the 28-yard line. Again, Demario Williams with the stop. Take a look at the Jaguars' schedule coming up. They will be in Dallas next week, and then they'll have a bye week before playing Houston.
Well, they got to get healthy at the quarterback position, and David Garrard's been pretty durable. Knocked out last week, Bill, with a concussion. Trent Edwards, their backup, you see him there on the left. He went out with an injured right thumb on his throwing hand. And
3rd and 2. They rush 4. Bauman under pressure. Gets rid of it. This is going to be picked off. He just lofted that. Eric Berry, the rookie, has it. And Berry's still on his feet. And still moving. Finally brought down at the 11-yard line by Taekwon Underwood.
And that was just a gift from Todd Bauman. And this is what good pressure does from you up front. Look at the pressure from the Chiefs defensive line. He's just trying to make something happen. Never looks out in front of the throw and doesn't feel the rookie Eric Berry. And of course, once he gets the ball in his hands, Bill, this guy becomes an offensive threat. He can score as well.
So well regarded coming out of Tennessee. He started every game as a rookie at strong safety. Todd Haley told us he's a high-character guy who can really bring it, and he's got a chance to be a star in the league at safety. Disappointment for Todd Bauman, who, though, has played well today, but a couple of costly mistakes. Down to the 5-yard line, Jackie Battle, 3rd year out of Houston.
See Eric Berry there, and talking with Romeo Cornell on Friday, he is really excited about this youngster. He just thinks he's got a wealth of talent. He really feels like he can be a playmaker back there in the secondary. They know he's a physical player, and he's a very good run support player. I think the big thing with a guy like Eric Berry is just figuring out all the different nuances of the coverage scheme. And he told us, he said, every week it seems like, I'm going up against a great tight end. When you think about the tight ends that he's had to face through the first 5 or 6 weeks, he's going against some of the game's best.
And they're going to mark it just short of the goal line. Again, it was Battle.
Well, as if you haven't seen enough of Thomas Jones and Jamal Charles and Dexter Cluster. Now they bring in Jackie Battle, and Jackie Battle goes to work behind that offensive line. And you see his right knee was down. But, Bill, I got to give a game ball to that group up front. That offensive line has been outstanding today. They're moving people. They protected Matt Castle.
Oh, we've reached the 2-minute warning. Chiefs trying to put it away. They lead 35-20. 2 minutes remaining. 1st and goal for Kansas City, leading 35-20 over the Jacksonville Jaguars. Kansas City on its way to 4-2. Jacksonville will fall to 3-4. Battle stays in the game, the offset eye, and they give it to him. In the end zone, touchdown. Have a little pushing and shoving.
Well, there's really no reason for it, and even more importantly, if you're a guy like Matt Castle or one of these Chiefs players, all you're going to do is cost yourself some money staying around that pile. A good push up front. Little short yardage and goal line situations, and look at this. All these backs for Kansas City, they like sticking that ball over the goal line there and leaving their feet. Normally you talk about a short yardage and goal line back, you're better off staying on the ground, but these guys like to get airborne down in this part of the field.
Ryan Suckup on to try the extra point. And good. Well, we had a tight game in the first half, and then it all kind of started coming apart right here. Bauman trying to go for too much and intercepted by Derek Johnson, who returned it for a touchdown.
Bill, you and I were talking. You start to your left, and when you come back inside, you don't look for the tight end. You look for the linebacker covering the tight end. And that's just, it could happen to anybody. I don't think he ever felt or saw Derek Johnson. He was kind of tucked down behind that big offensive line he had in front of him. And, in a way, you kind of feel for Todd Bauman. I thought he did some great things today. He's made a couple mistakes here at the end, but, be able to come in on a short week and all that he's been through and to play as well as he did up until that point was really incredible.
Derek Johnson, in many ways, a symbol of the resurgence of the Kansas City Chiefs, because this is a guy who was a first-round draft pick out of Texas in 2005, lost his starting job, was kind of just sort of floating on the depth chart, not seeing a lot of action, and now he's kind of found his place and has become an impact player for these Kansas City Chiefs.
Well, Scott Pioli and Todd Haley, they've done a wonderful job. They came in last year, they turned over more than half the roster, and the best thing they did was they changed the culture and the environment in the building by creating competition at every position, and it's starting to pay dividends. These last two draft classes have been outstanding.
Kareem is the deep man. Take it at the goal line. KG Kareem. Can't get to the outside, and we have some flags on the play.
Corey Mays on the tackle.
During the return, holding, receiving team, number 33. After this to the goal, first down.
So they'll bring it back. As things stand now, the Chiefs have the second easiest schedule in the league going forward. Only the Arizona Cardinals play teams with a lower current winning percentage than Kansas City, so the future looks bright for the Chiefs.
They get the winless Bills, and of course 2 divisional games on the road. Matt Castle, I thought he played much better in the second half, Bill.
He was 0 for 3 at the end of the first quarter, but since then, Rich, 13 of 15 for 193 yards and the 2 touchdown passes to Bo.
He's got to give him some opportunities. I mean, any quarterback, 3, 4, 5, 6 throws in the first half is not going to get it done. He needs to get into a rhythm. I thought he did a much better job of that in the second half.
Kareem burst through across the 20 to the 21-yard line.
He was tackled by Demario Williams.
There's that ease of schedule for the Chiefs, just behind Arizona, just ahead of the Rams. Again, as teams stand now in terms of winning percentage.
We haven't really talked about it, but you have to wonder what's going to happen with Todd Bauman. This is kind of an audition for him. Did the Jacksonville Jaguars keep him on the roster? They keep him around?
Zach Miller to the 30-yard line. Chiefs, by the way, with 236 rushing yards today. So another fine rushing performance. 5.6 yards a carry, their average. Bauman. Again, it's Miller. And he's got a first down at the 38-yard line.
Kind of an audition of sorts for Todd Bauman. And got that finger still bothering him from that tackle, attempted tackle on Eric Berry.
Bauman.
Oh, yeah, you can see it's bothering him. Oh, he's got to come out of the game.
He almost lost the football.
Yeah, he's got to come out of the game. I think it's really bothering him. And if you're going to come out of the game, you're better off staying on the field and taking a knee.
So here we go with Trent Edwards.
He's not healthy either. He's got an injured right thumb. Look at his right thumb.
He took some snaps at practice late in the week. He sprained his thumb early on after replacing David Garrard at quarterback. Was wearing a splint this week, but was able to grip the football after the swelling started to go down, and he'll just hand it off to KG Kareem. Powers forward to the 45-yard line inside of 30 seconds remaining.
And that might be all he's able to do. As you look at Trent Edwards, he's got a splint on his thumb as well. I don't know that he can even throw it. You can see right there.
So the Chiefs are going to win it 42-20. Coming up next, Game 2 of the NFL on CBS. For Rich Gannon and Bill McAtee saying so long from Kansas City.